Is a reunion on the cards between Prince William and Prince Harry? What was the row over Instagram this week? What did Meghan Markle do that made one of our experts cringe this week? And will the royal family be stung by the departure of the Wasp? We answer all those and more in another great episode of Royal News from the best experts in the business. My name is Luke Blackwell, and on the panel today are the Daily Mail's royal editor, Rebecca English, and the paper's social diary editor, Richard Eden. Welcome to you both. Now, if you like this sort of royal news and analysis, then why not subscribe to this channel? Click that subscribe button. It looks like a bell for some people. It's free, and it really helps us to grow and reach even more royal watchers. Now, let's start with an update on Prince Harry's phone hacking case against the Daily Mail. Now, as a reminder, a number of journalists from the Mail, including our own Rebecca English, were completely exonerated when allegations made by a number of high-profile individuals that they had used illegal methods to get stories were thrown out in full on the 7th of July. This week, the High Court is considering who should foot the bill for the case. Rebecca, what can you tell us?
Well, as you rightly say, Luke, Associated Newspapers are back in court for a two-day hearing in the High Court in front of Mr Justice Nicklin, and this is about who pays the bill after our overwhelming victory in court earlier on this month. And Associated's team are arguing that they have put forward an argument to say our costs have now amounted to £34.5 million. And that is partly because the case has dragged on, they say, for 5 years. A lot of allegations were put in during that time and then withdrawn or fell by the wayside, and the team have looked at other allegations to throw at the newspaper groups. They're saying because of their actions, we are entitled not just to a certain proportion of costs being made, but what we call costs on an indemnity basis, which means this case has been handled above the norm or out of the norm. So we're entitled to all of our costs being paid. And the other side are arguing that that is unjust and they are willing to pay a proportion of them. And it is up to the judge in the case to decide. Now, it's emerged that the claimants have between six out of the 7 of them have a certain amount of insurance, which will cover about 16 million of those costs, but there are still 18 million outstanding, and that's really what's being argued over in court at the moment. And my understanding is the judge will listen to those arguments and come back with a decision at a later date, probably in the autumn.
And of course, when we have an update there, we will of course discuss it further on this programme. Now, Rebecca, sticking on the legal front for a moment, we also had an update in a case involving Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
Yeah, our viewers might remember that criminal charges were brought against a man who had been threatening Andrew Mountbatten Windsor at Sandringham. That case was due to be held in July. That's now been put off back to December, but a trial will be held. And we understand that Andrew will be giving video evidence in the case.
Very interesting. Now, away from all the legal drama, the royals are on their summer holidays. Although there are fewer engagements to discuss, there's still a lot of royal news to talk about this week. Richard, let's just start with those holidays, the long summer break. King Charles and Queen Camilla, they had some traditions to follow, some holiday traditions, don't they?
They do really. They've largely stuck to Queen Elizabeth's summer holiday, which was always spent in Balmoral. It would be a long period. The Queen would be there until about mid-October, I think. So what we have with King Charles and Queen Camilla is they've shortened that, so they're only there until September. And the King has continued his personal tradition of, before he goes to Balmoral, having a week at the Castle of May, which is a wonderful place. So I'm told, I still haven't visited it, but it's the only house that Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, the King's grandmother, ever owned. And she bought this castle, and the King loved it so much that after her death, he wanted to try and preserve it, really. And so you can stay there, I think, can't you?
Yeah.
It's a place that's welcome to visitors, and it's very far north in the Highlands. But the King makes a point of always going there for a week before he heads to the Balmoral estate. But most of the time when he's at Balmoral, he spends at Birkhall, which is his house there, which he's had, designed very much in the way that he and Camilla love. So that's very much home for them. But at some point he will transfer to Balmoral Castle, where the Queen would have spent her summers.
Sorry, I was going to say, that's where the family will come and visit him periodically over the summer period, all of the family members.
The big invitation. That continues. They can still enjoy their summer holiday there. That hasn't stopped.
Well, it depends who, doesn't it?
Well, so most of the family members, the Edinburghs, Princess Anne, they will all go up and actually stay there for a few days themselves, even if the King isn't in residence, or join him when he's there. And obviously then you have the Walesers towards the end of the summer.
Probably not Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, though.
No, I think that was, although he did go up and he would stay on a house on the estate, my understanding is that invitation has been relinquished.
So summer holiday plans changed as well. Now, you mentioned the Prince and Princess of Wales, Rebecca. What's their summer holiday looking like?
Very nice. So they take most of the summer off because they take advantage of the children's school holidays. They tend to base themselves at Amner Hall, which is the family home in Norfolk. So that's very wholesome, very outdoorsy. I always kind of liken it a bit like to a Bowden catalogue. Lots of cricket on the beach and sailing. They tend to also go away for a little bit. So they tend to go to the Caribbean for a week or so over the summer. Historically, Mustique, it's a private island, so they know they're not going to be bothered, and they go there with the whole Middleton clan. They'll often take time to go down to the Scilly Isles as well, which I went to with Prince William only a few months ago, and it's a beautiful part of the world. I could thoroughly recommend it. And then eventually, the last few days in August, they make their way up to Balmoral for that traditional part of the summer before the children start back in school in September. And obviously, they want to be well prepared this year because, of course, George will be starting at Eton.
Big summer ahead. Now, if you can believe it, Rebecca went into even greater depth about the royal family's summer plans in the Palace Confidential newsletter this week. To access our newsletter, which brings you brilliant exclusive content, the best writing from these guys and all sorts of other things, our polls and many other exciting goodies in there too, you can scan the QR code on screen now, or you can click the link in the description below. It's free, easy, and well worth it. Now, while Charles and Camilla will be busy hopping between Birkhall, Balmoral and the Castle of May this summer, they took a more unconventional form of transport to get to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow the other day. Rebecca, Camilla famously does not like flying, so how did she manage travelling through time and space?
This was such a weird one to drop on my inbox, which, while we were recording it last week, I was kind of catching up on it. So I was told in advance that they were opening, the King and Queen were going to be opening the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Everyone wanted to make a big kind of deal of it. And they were looking around for a very Scottish way to enter the Games. Now, when they said, and it'll be the TARDIS, we all went, what? What's Scottish about that? So for anyone else who doesn't know, it's a famously long-running BBC sci-fi programme. In fact, I'm told it's the most simultaneously shown programme around the world. So it's very popular globally. And apparently there are more original police boxes on which the TARDIS is based in Glasgow than any other city in the United Kingdom. There have been 4 Scottish doctors, and apparently Doctor Who has a degree in medicine from Glasgow University, as well as one from his home planet of Gallifrey, apparently. So
I'm learning lots.
That was the Scottish link. But what they did was really fun. So they did some filming at Balmoral, and they had 2 shadowy figures entering this time machine in Balmoral, and then it appeared in the arena in Glasgow when the King and the Queen, looking all very jolly, walked out. And as you rightly say, I was talking with someone at the palace because I was saying, how would the Queen fare in a spinning time machine, because she really doesn't like flying at the best of times. And they said she took it, in the spirit of the evening. So they all look like they're having a lot of fun.
Absolutely did. Richard, it's likely to draw comparisons with the Queen's opening of the 2012 Olympics, isn't it? It's not quite as dramatic, though.
I must admit, when I heard they were going to be making a dramatic entrance, I did think, you're kidding me. You're not going to be coming out of a helicopter, James Bond style, like we saw at London 2012 Olympics.
Flying sporran or something.
Caber.
But it made an impact. It was on the front of all the newspapers here, and it was fun. It got people talking about the Commonwealth Games, which, as we've said in this programme before, sadly this year haven't been getting so much coverage because they're not on our terrestrial channel, the BBC. They've been outbid, and they're now on a satellite channel subscription, and so people are watching them less than in the past, which is a shame.
So home games, which royals have we seen there, Rebecca?
We obviously see the King and the Queen. We've seen Prince Edward up there a lot, enjoying himself. In fact, he was on the stage with the King and Queen at the opening ceremony. And we will see a bit more royal presence there very soon. I can't say any more, but keep your eyes out for it.
That's good.
Keep an eye. It might not be on terrestrial TV here, but do keep your eye out on all that coverage. That'll be
Well, it'll
exciting.
definitely be on Mail Online on the website.
Well, absolutely. We'll cover it.
So,
That's the best place, of course, to get all your news. Now, we've spoken about what the royals get up to on their summer holiday, Rebecca. But what about the Sussexes? We actually don't need to speculate because it's coming out on Instagram. Tell us about what you've noticed there.
Well, where do we start on this? I'm picking it. So last Thursday evening at UK time, suddenly a post dropped on Meghan the Duchess of Sussex's Instagram entitled Summer Holidays. Not vacations, interestingly.
Well,
Holidays,
that's because she was using Cliff Richard and the Shadows' song Summer Holiday as to accompany her gallery of photographs.
Yeah,
If you didn't have
they,
such a bad voice, Richard, I'd ask you to give us a rendition.
well, there's a bit of a Cliff lookalike there, I think.
Do you know what? But some people have also said Hank Marvin as
No,
well.
I can see a bit of Cliff Richard there. as well.
I don't know. It's long before my time.
I'll tell you what, when we do the Palace Confidential karaoke, we know what we're going to get you to. Going to get you to sing.
Promises. So basically pictures of their summer holidays, which I do find extraordinary because we hear a lot about them wanting to protect their privacy. And these are holidays that no one knew anything about, really. There's been speculation and some guesswork, but here it was laid out in kind of technicolor glory. So there were photographs from Portugal where the couple have long been rumoured to have a home, but again, nothing has been established, and obviously to protect their privacy, no one would print details of where this place is, and yet
Indeed, Richard broke the story and he didn't print details of where the thing
absolutely,
is.
yeah,
Right.
no.
We just said at the time we thought it was near to where Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank had their home on the Costa Terra estate.
Well, now we have pictures of Meghan in a swimsuit on the beach with Harry and the children in the water. We have pictures of a local restaurant they've eaten at, local shops they've used. And I find that quite extraordinary given the complaints they have made about their privacy and security issues. We also have, and I think this has been the biggest talking point, photographs, although they weren't captioned, they were clearly taken at Althorp, the Spencer family home, which the Sussexes were rumoured to be visiting after Richard's excellent story that the place had been closed down for a couple of days, coinciding with their visit. And I think what was particularly extraordinary about this was the photograph of Harry and Archie with flowers in their hands, clearly walking towards the burial place of his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. And it's up to people individually what they choose to share online. I don't share anything of my family, that's my choice, other people do. But what I did find extraordinary about this is Harry has long complained about the exploitation of his mother's memory. People like Paul Burrell, who've brought out many books about her and his time with her, he has loudly complained about the exploitative nature of people like that. And I think to then allow those pictures of such a personal moment to be published like that, I personally found quite hypocritical. And I think people would say that in itself is exploitative.
Well, also look at where they were published and why. These photographs are published on Meghan's Instagram account, which was launched to promote her lifestyle business. It's an entirely commercial venture. It's not, they're not sharing them with friends. It's not like, here, show me holiday snaps or anything like that. It is on a commercial basis. So it's, I found them quite strange, the Althorp pictures particularly, because it's that combination of showing the backs of children, so you're not sort of giving away their full identities, but then you're revealing that they're going to lay flowers at the grave of their late grandmother for the first time. So that's a very intimate, personal moment, isn't it? That's being recorded and shared. And even as you're going there thinking, stop, I've got to take a picture. You know, can you wait there while I record that for posterity? It is an interesting way of
And I can
thinking.
see you wanting to take those pictures for yourself personally, but it is quite extraordinary that she shared them, I think.
Is there an element of testing the water, perhaps, to see if there is any pushback, if anyone does get upset by it?
I'm not sure she cares.
Well, I mean, Meghan, let's be clear, is following the example of Harry. So in his book, he gave a